So today we're going to talk about spooky waters. Waters that are spooky.
So spooky. That's really spooky.
They're not really that spooky, are they?
Yeah, kind of. Well, there's a couple.
Lots of haunts and haints.
Really spooky.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go. Jello, I'm Ash.
And I'm Lynn.
And this is Only If You Can Keep Up.
Today we're going to talk about spooky waters.
What kind of spooky waters?
All kinds of spooky waters.
Right?
Oh, the waters of the spooks.
Okay, are you going first?
I'll go first. So, first place I'm going to talk about it's called the Devil's Pool. It's in Australia. It's in Queensland and in the rainforest. It's actually an area of 3 streams that meet. They connect amongst a group of boulders, and it creates these like natural pools of water, like a creek, like a swimming hole. And the water stays super cold. Like even in the blistering hot months, it stays super cold.
How does it stay cold? Is it like a natural spring?
I guess so.
You said 3 rivers, right?
Yeah, well, 3 streams that connect.
Sorry.
Yeah, but they call it a creek, but it's really used to be a swimming hole. Now they've made it off limits more recently because so much fucking crazy shit has happened up in there. So lots and lots of deaths. Lots of people have died there.
Is it big?
It's like a bigger area because the rainforest area, but this specific area, the Devil's Pool, is not that big.
See, in my head, I'm trying to picture 3 streams that come together, right? Like that's what I'm.
Yeah.
Right? They come together as one.
It's like this area where they kind of meet and then create this like swimming hole.
Okay.
So it's not like a huge area, this specific area, but it's part of a larger tourist type area.
Okay. I gotcha.
So I think it's the Babinda boulders. I should have looked that one up, how to pronounce that. Babinda boulders, that's what they call it. There's this story. The Aboriginal community there around that area tells this tale of there was a beautiful young woman many, many years ago. She came from the Yundinji tribe. She was named Ulana. And she was a
pretty name.
Yeah, it is pretty.
Very pretty.
So Ulana was forced to marry a respected elder from her tribe. You know, it was kind of one of those like arranged marriage type situations.
Right, which I think that's how it was in a lot of,
Yeah,
okay.
So she wasn't happy, but she soon found this young, handsome man from a different tribe, and they fell in love, and their affair blossomed, and they tried to escape. They fled into the valleys together, and the tribe elders caught them. They got him. She was able to escape. The story is that she yeeted herself into the water. So she was like said to have been crying out his name for him to join her, and she was so heartbroken and lost because he had been taken and she got away, and I guess she must have drowned out there in the waters because evidently when she entered the water, something like the earth shook and these boulders fell, and it created these like rapid currents, and what were calm waters became like rushing, crazy waters.
Rivers, rushing streams.
So the story goes that since 1959 there have been at least 21 lives lost there. That's just what they can count. And most of these were people just visiting and swimming because it was a well-known swimming hole for tourists. Over the years, they started realizing how dangerous it was, so they put up no-go signs of, don't swim in this area.
So they're drowning.
Most of them are drowning.
Okay.
Most of them are drowning, but some stories, they weren't even in the water. They were just looking, or one story, like a couple, like it flooded out of nowhere and they were washed into the water.
Oh my God.
One was like a younger kid that was like kicking a sign or something, and he like slid into the water. Like, some of them weren't, but most of them were swimming, and almost all of them were young men. And so it's like this thing of they think her spirit is luring these men in. Because they will say that the witnesses that have seen these deaths occur say that the waters are calm and still when they're swimming, when they're in there. And then out of nowhere, it's like an invisible hand pulls them under.
Oh.
It's like out of nowhere, they can't come up out of water.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's wild. So they've had, at least 21 that they can count. So they put up the signs, and there's still been a few over, more recently because people don't follow the rules. But
they don't listen to the signs.
Right. But people still say in that area that you can hear her cries. Some people claim to see an image of her. But the story is that she pulls these young men to their death. They think the water's still. They go in to swim, or they go near the water, and all of a sudden there's this part of it, of the water, that they call the washing machine.
Oh.
Because they assume there's some kind of undercurrent, and it just randomly swirls around like a washing machine.
Okay.
And it just picks up and just sucks them under, like a vortex type of thing. Yeah, and invisible, just like out of nowhere, just sucks them in. So
that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Seriously, could you imagine that?
Yeah. That's just wild.
Yeah.
But I guess it's a really big attraction area, really big tourist area. People go there, but most people are not going to try to swim there. But that whole area, there's other areas to swim.
Right.
That part there is supposed to be so dangerous and then so chilling because you can hear her cries and you can see the image of her. And yeah, it's almost like when we were talking about sirens. It's almost kind of like that. Her cry lures them in or something. I don't know. It's interesting.
Why is it called Devil's Pool? Like, they could have caught...
Yeah, I don't know.
There's nothing really devilish. It's just like a girl who was sad and...
Yeah. I mean, unless they think she's like dark. She is dark because she's killing people.
What year did you say this was?
It didn't...
I thought you said a year.
The year. It just said that what I'd read that since 1959.
Yeah, I thought you said a 50s.
Yeah.
So the 50s.
I don't know when this happened, but that's how many they've recorded since then of deaths. How many deaths they've recorded since.
I understand.
I think that was the right year.
Well, you have to think any time other than like now, any kind of mysterious thing was literally linked to the devil.
Right.
So like if something mysterious or dark is happening, it's the devil. So maybe that's why they called it the Devil's Pool.
Because there's a lot of areas that are called. Yeah, exactly.
Happening.
And I wish I knew when this happened. I know that the Yindinji people are still around. There's still a lot of people from that tribe, or from that culture around there. So it's still a big story. But I don't know when this actually was supposed to have happened. But I just thought that was interesting.
It was very interesting.
I don't know that I'd ever want to go there, but
I kind of do. That'd be neat.
I'd like to see. I don't want to get close to it though. Like.
You gotta live. Okay, look, I would go there if I could twinkle my nose and go, but not like fly in a plane and go.
Yeah,
that makes no sense.
Just teleport.
I know.
Like we said,
I know to fly to Australia. It's like long from the United States.
It is.
So, no thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, my first one is one a lot of people have heard of. I'm sure. Have you heard of it?
Which one?
Lake Lanier.
I've only heard of it because of you talking about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Lake Lanier is a man-made lake that was created in the 1950s. They created it by flooding the valley communities.
Okay.
The lake is in Georgia, in the United States, and it's surrounding the towns of Beaufort, Gainesville, and Cumming. It's huge. It's huge. Okay, the government decided that they need a new food source, a hydroelectric power generator, and water supply to uphold the growing Atlantic area. Like they were getting ready. I think they had kind of started building Atlanta. I think I said Atlantic. Atlanta, Georgia is what we're talking about. They needed more power because they knew the city was going to be huge. So they decided to take this area and literally just flood it to make source for the bigger city. It's horrible. It is fed by the Chattahoochee and the, I'm going to say it wrong, Chastity rivers? Chastity? I'm sorry, I botched that. Before it was a lake, the government began buying up all the land they needed for the new lake. I read a couple places where they would buy the land for $30 an acre. And some people owned like 10,000 acres. Yeah. It was like a generational farming community. Like generations of people had lived in these areas, and the government just said, you have no choice, here is the money, you need to leave. We're doing this, whether you want to or not.
Yeah.
Like, that's your decision. That's not your decision. You gotta go. They bought more than 50,000 acres of land to flood this area.
Jeez.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I read a few things where, like, family members had said that their grandfathers and everybody had regretted their decisions because it was nowhere near the amount of money
that
they
deserved,
thought it was going to be. Like, I mean, if you... Back then, I mean, it's the 50s, but still, like, you get a check for, say, $1,000.
Entire home, and you're uprooting everything.
Exactly. 700 families had to leave their farms and homes. 700.
Wow.
That is a lot.
It's like, we're going to come in and flood. You need to leave. Like, wow.
That happens a lot. When I was doing research
Are you
for
God?
This,
no. Jeez.
Some people moved their actual homes. They, like, moved their homes, but most of them just moved their belongings. A lot of people actually burned their homes down because they couldn't...
That's so sad.
They couldn't fathom, like, their home being under the water, essentially. Right. A lot of buildings had to be torn down before they flooded. This is all... it was for... I'm sorry. The Buford? That sounds interesting. The Buford Dam was being built as they're doing this. And the dam is what they were, getting all the water. They were going to release the dam and flood her out. Anything that was taller than 35 feet had to be removed because the top of the buildings would be seen from the top of the lake.
Wow.
Structures, trees had to be demolished. Think of entire ecosystems of animals and deer and rabbits and bunnies and bugs all had to go.
Devastating.
Literally. They had to remove, I don't remember, it said the amount of trees they had to remove, and some things I read, and I don't know how true this one is, said that they just burned the trees. Instead of, like, taking them and creating something with them. And, no, they just burned them. I don't know how true that one is. That's just, I saw that in a couple places and thought that was really interesting. There are actually 160 small islands within the lake. Like, right now, if you go to the lake, you can see little islands all over the lake. Those are actually the tallest hills of those communities.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That is insane. There were 20 cemeteries, give or take, around 20 cemeteries. They actually did do their best to remove the graves that were marked.
Yeah.
The graves that were unmarked, it was decided, like, they did a whole hearing. It was decided to leave them. I think there was over, I think it was like 280 at least that were not moved.
That's just got to be haunted. Some
like
pissed off spirits.
Exactly. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Just literally fathom. Somebody knocks on your door and is like, hey, we are buying your land. Wow. No questions asked. Like, the anger that would come from that, too.
So much for...
Also think about, like, I could not find any record of this, but think of the people who actually did not leave. Who
refused. There had to be people who were like, "This is my home."
People who have been on their farm for hundreds of years.
Like the movie Up, and he just doesn't want to go, and then he just... Sorry.
That took a whole minute to register. Up. Okay, yeah, that's like the saddest Pixar movie ever. But anyway, some of them lock themselves in their home, or they had to have. That's just us talking. But in 1956, they flooded the land. The locals jammed up the roads and bridges to watch as, like, they opened the floodgates and they just stood there and watched their homes, their houses, everything just go underwater. Today, right now, it is a very, very, very popular summertime, I can't talk tonight, summertime hangout. Like, boats. I think I saw where over 1 million people have been there this year alone.
Wow, that's crazy.
Like, it's a huge boating, recreational, picnics, all the things, fishing, everything. It was actually not meant to be a recreational lake at all. They did not mean it for that. It was literally intended for the water source, for the hydroelectric plants, and for food.
Wow.
But, of course, as the times go and you need fun things to do and money, you get those boats on there. You get those ski boats on there. There are concrete buildings they could not remove. There are cars. There are bridges. There's a whole racetrack underneath there. Yeah. A lot of other debris they couldn't remove at all. They just couldn't get it. They didn't have enough time. They ran out of time. There were cars that they just couldn't, they didn't have time. It's time to flood it. We got to be done. We had a deadline. We did not get everything done. They tore down most of the wooden stuff and the stuff that would disintegrate and literally make the water bad. But anything else, they just left. They just left and pushed those gates right open and said, pretty much good luck.
Wow. Makes you wonder how many times things like that have happened over the years.
They assured everyone that the things that were left in the lake, like the buildings that were left, the concretes and all that, would cause no harm. They were like, it'll be fine. Everything, we removed the wood. We removed the toxins. We removed all of that. They were very, very, very wrong.
All the gasoline in the cars and like...
Exactly. There have been 700 reported deaths since the creation of this lake. More than 200 people have died since 1994. And at least 27 of those people have never been found.
Jeez, like died in the water?
Yes, in the water. Yes. From 1999 to 2018, there were 57 boating deaths and 145 drownings.
Wow.
People mostly died from drowning, boating accidents, several random just explosions of fire. Like their boat will just poof, catch on fire in the middle of the water for absolutely no reason. A big cause of all of these problems is the debris under the water. The boats get stuck on it.
Yeah.
Boom.
Snag,
The gas, something about the gasolines from all of this stuff over the years has created these pockets of
combustible, like just...
like fluids. And when the boats hit them just right, it's like a
wow.
bomb, essentially. It's just like, poof.
And what do they expect with all that under there? Like...
Yeah. People will jump in and hit their body on stuff and just never come back up.
Wow.
And get stuck. Yeah. There has been several reported hauntings, like obviously people who have died that people still claim to this day that they see at the lake.
Wow.
The Lady of the Lake is the most well-known one that I could find. I've heard of the Lady of the Lake. Okay. Yeah. In 1958, two women named Delia Young and Susie Roberts were crossing a bridge over Lanier Lake. They lost control of the vehicle. About a year later, they couldn't find the car. They couldn't find the body. They found nothing. A year later, a local fisherman found a body. It had no hands and it was missing toes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. They did not know which girl it was. They assumed it was one of the two, but they did not know which one it was. Susie had been wearing a blue dress the night she died. Since the accident, many, 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 many people have claimed to have seen a beautiful woman in an all blue dress either walking the bridge or the shore, pacing around looking very like worried, confused, didn't know what was going on, didn't know anything, honestly.
Yeah, like a trapped residual, like...
Yeah.
Oh, get me
Isn't that sad?
Yeah, it's so sad.
They didn't find the vehicle for 31 years.
Wow.
When they did find the vehicle, they found the remains of Susie inside the vehicle, so then they know that Delia was the woman they found a year after it happened. Yeah.
Wow.
Another apparition. Say the word. What is it? Apparition? Apparition?
Yeah. Apparition.
Apparition?
Right?
It sounds like operation.
Now you got me questioning.
Wow. Another shadow figure they have seen. I know. It's, you know when you say a word and it doesn't sound right, and then you have to say it over and over?
That's what's going on here. Okay. I know this word.
We're just going to call it a shadow figure. Okay. Multiple people have also seen a shadow.
Oh my
gosh, I need to go to bed. Shadow figure of a boy sitting on a raft with a pole, like in the water, to move himself, even though the lake is extremely deep. But like they see the bull put the pole in the water and like push himself forward and bring himself back and then move him side to side. And he's got a very old lantern.
Wow.
No story that I could find goes along with that, but several. I found several articles on that. Like, many people have seen that.
Weird.
Isn't
I wonder
that crazy?
What the story is with that, because when they made the lake, that would have been past the time of lanterns and stuff, right?
I don't know.
Unless it was something from the graveyard.
I don't know. I just found it really interesting, but the graveyard thing is that's a good place to go.
Yeah.
Maybe. I didn't think about that.
Only really no other reason to explain it. I guess we'll just say that's what it was.
Right. Okay. Along with all the deaths, there have also been reports of electrocutions. I saw an article where this man jumped in the water outside, like, and on his property. He's got a dock. He jumped in the water and died of electrocution.
Jeez. Yeah, there's probably so much under there
that just jumping out, I'm gonna go jump in the lake, honey, and you don't come back up.
Good Lord.
That is crazy. Strange and odd behaviors coming from the lake also, like wind drafts that shouldn't be there. Like, just no sense is made within this. I've seen several things where people from Georgia, obviously not everyone from Georgia, because I'm sure a lot of people go to this lake to have a good time. But I've seen articles where it's like, I'm from Georgia and I know not to go there. Like, just like, it's a dangerous, it's kind of like every time you go, you are risking your life to go.
Yeah.
The Netflix show Ozark.
Yes, I was...
actually films many scenes there.
Really?
Yes.
Well, when you talked about the guy getting electrocuted, it reminded me of a scene from Ozark.
They could have took it from that.
Maybe.
I don't know, but they do.
I was going to say, but then I was like, well, I don't know if you've seen Ozark or not. I didn't want to
not
interrupt, so.
I have not seen Ozark, but I knew you would find that fascinating because you have seen Ozark, and I know that.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's real good.
So that's all for my Lake Lanier.
Oh, that's really interesting.
I know.
Like, maybe I've heard of Lake Lanier, but I didn't know the whole, like, I didn't know anything about it. So
how it was flooded and all those people's lives were lost.
That's crazy to think that they can just come in and say, listen here. And I know, like, 1950s, that's a long time ago, but really it's not. Like, to think that there's plenty of people now that were alive then. Could you imagine, in this lifetime, them coming in and just saying, hey, like, we're taking over this area. You can't live here anymore.
Here's $30 for an acre.
Jeez. Oh my gosh.
That's insane.
So my next area is it's actually an area of the Mississippi River. It's between Cairo, Illinois and St. Louis, Missouri. There's actually a long area there that they call the graveyard. It's where they've estimated hundreds of shipwrecks throughout time, like steamboats, ships, all kinds of just like boats sunken under.
Is there like something under there?
Well, so, okay. There are like said to be lots of like tree branches and, things like that to cause snags. So that would cause some of the sinking. But there's also been a lot of like, back like steamship days when they were like transporting a lot of like, cargo that would catch fire easily, like oils and hay and cotton and things like that, like in the 1800s. So, and there was a lot of candlelight. So, kind of goes back to what we were talking about before with the, the combustible materials and things like that. There were a lot of fires. There were a lot of explosions. There were boiler explosions. There were decks on the main fire. There were fires in the main deck.
There you go.
To where they would just as simple as candlelight, a candle falling and catching the hay on fire or the cotton, or because they would transport so much cotton. And, so there's been many ways that the ships have gone under. There's not just snags and sinking, but explosions and fires and sinking too. But I guess this area, just recently, I think this is just in the last few years, like the water was so low on parts of the Mississippi where they were actually able to retrieve some of the boats from way back when. They were actually able to see some of it, and just wild. But there's been so many steamboat accidents, especially like there were a couple big ones in the mid 1800s where there were like over 200 to 300 lives lost. Like, oh my God. And people say when they're out there in this area, they can still see weird lights on the water at night. Some people claim to see the ghosts of the crews. Some hear their screams and cries. And so it's like wild. But this is like a large area. I mean, between these two towns is like, where they call the graveyard. But also near there, it's Grand Tower, Illinois. And there's this... Okay, it's like a rocky ridge, a big like rock formation, and it resembles a spine. It's like growing out of bluffs on the banks of the river or whatever.
Sounds really freaking awesome.
They call it the Devil's Backbone, and
of course.
But there's also nearby. There's what they call the Devil's Bake Oven, kind of like an easy bake oven, but it's the Devil's Bake Oven.
Do they cook like pizza goodies in there, like little cookies?
Maybe.
Okay.
But so there's like rapids at the base of this large rock formation, and there's a lot of deaths that have been caused there. A lot of shipwrecks, a lot of boats going under because of these like unstable currents, from this area. And there was 1839 in this area, the Devil's Bake Oven. There in that Grand Tower, Illinois area. There was a wedding party that went out on. They got married at the top of. It's called Tower Rock. It's the big rock formation that's actually called Tower Rock. But this couple had their wedding there at the top. That's where they wanted to get married. And it all went well, and they were heading back home, but they were sucked underwater by a large, whirlpool. Sucked down into, I don't know how they knew this, but I guess that's what happened. Sucked into a large whirlpool. And there was only one survivor. It was a slave. Oh. And he came back. He made it back home. The rest of them didn't make it. The rest of the wedding party was gone. But rumor is that same day of the wedding, there was a baby born. And the baby was a niece to the bride and groom. And the baby was named after the bride. And then 20 years later, this niece, who was named after the bride, decided in memory of them, she was going to throw her birthday party at the top of Tower Rock.
So how is that a memory?
Right.
I'm sorry.
I think it was more of a look at me kind of thing. But,
oh my God. Anyway.
I don't know. But she, I guess, invited this slave that was there.
Oh, that's
so,
nice.
He got to be a part of the party. And they all made it home fine. They're all okay from what I've read. But they all claim to have witnessed. They all saw the same thing, that the entire wedding party from 20 years before.
I don't know what you're about to say, but I just got goosebumps all over my entire body.
That their ghost arose from the water and came up to them, and that the pastor or the reverend or whoever was running the preacher that was running the wedding handed the girl a scroll, and it talked of warning of great sadness for her family, civil war coming soon. It was all these details. And of course, just a few years later, the Civil War started. But that's the story, is that the ghosts arose from the water and handed this scroll to this girl who was a descendant or,
right.
niece of the wedding party that died 20 years before on that same day. And that she was born on that same day. Just very strange. I thought that was interesting. But yeah, that whole area is supposed to be really wild. They see lots of things. There's psychics that have gone out there and said that they can see the ghosts traveling to the cemetery and back, and people that claim to see the things out on the water, and they hear the cries, they hear the screams. They not just with that wreck, but with lots of steamboat wrecks. And
well, it seems like it's a big place for death, obviously. Yeah. So I'm a true believer in all that, 100%. I've heard the screams before, so
yeah,
not from a shipwreck, but
out in the wilderness, you mean, or?
No, not in the wood. I've heard ghostly screams.
Oh, at haunted places, you mean?
Haunted places, yes. And it is real, and it is eerie, and it is scary.
This is one area I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind trying out as long as I'm not in the water. Because there's more. There is this. Okay.
Oh, there's more.
This whole area.
Okay.
So, I'm not exactly sure. This would have been mid 1800s sometime. There's said to be a daughter of the superintendent, I guess, that took care of the area or worked around that area. She lived in the house at the top of the rock with her dad. And evidently she fell in love with a riverboat pilot. Her father disapproved. He forbid her to see him. He kept her locked in the house and at the top of the rock and wouldn't let her down to see. This is the story, that she was forbidden to see her love. And I had read that her love was killed in a boiler explosion on his boat, and she was so heartbroken that she left her room one night, leapt to her death from the high cliff. It was storming, whatever. The next morning, when the rain cleared out, they found her drenched and broken body on the riverbank. So that's the story, that she was so heartbroken because her love had died, and she was forbidden to see him. So she, took her life right there in that area. So people still, they say that they see her as a fine mist floating around the woods in the water area. They can hear her wailing. They can, especially during thunderstorms, they say that they can hear her cries and her wailing and screaming, and kind of like a banshee in the night. But then this is nothing to do with that specifically, but back in 1786, there was a group of Native Americans, and they were known to kill travelers. They killed this group of travelers, like 20 different people, because they believed that that area of the river was controlled by a spirit called Manitou, and they thought that this spirit needed to be appeased, so they would hold sacrifices there. They would kill the travelers and throw the bodies into the water to appease the spirit of the river.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's also an area where like pirates would hang out and hide before they'd attack travelers. So like there's just a lot of dark history there. But then more recently, like in the 70s, there's like been UFO activity spotted, like large donut-shaped UFOs that were hovering over that area, things like that. So it's not just ghosts, but also like possible water spirits that sacrifices and Native American stuff and pirates and UFOs and all kinds of shit. So it just sounds like a wild place.
Okay, do you know if this has been on any kind of ghost show before? Because I feel like I have heard this entire story before.
It might be. You know, I don't watch them a lot, so I don't know. I know that I think there's been books written about it and stuff. Maybe I'd like to read them. I think there's a book. I want to say it's something about the haunted stories of Southern Illinois or something like that. And I think it's mentioned in I think there's been a couple books where these things have been mentioned. But, I mean, the Mississippi River is a very large river, but this specific area...
Yeah, I just feel like I have seen this before.
Maybe.
Like
it's supposed to be pretty well known, I guess.
Ghost Adventures, or there's so many different ones. I can't even think of all the different shows right now.
Yeah, that's a lot for one area. You've got Esmeralda, you've got all the boat wrecks, you've got the Native Americans, you've got the pirates, you've got...
What's Esmeralda?
Esmeralda was the daughter that...
I don't remember you saying her name if you did.
Oh, maybe I didn't. Yeah, Esmeralda was the daughter that fell in love with the riverboat pilot and took her life. And,
you could have said her name and I was just so into that story I did not hear it. Okay.
Yeah, so it's just a lot for that little area and like, I don't know, just eerie.
Could you imagine like living by that water and like...
Oh my gosh.
I guarantee there's screams.
Oh, I'm
constantly,
sure.
Like,
that's what, I want to go on like Reddit or something and like read what people have like experienced in that area. That'd be so cool. Like,
it would be cool.
I wouldn't mind checking that out sometime.
Okay, for our last spooky water story. Wait, you're done, right?
I'm done.
Okay, so for our last one, it's about the Manchac swamp.
Okay.
Julia Brown.
Swamp. Is it like Louisiana?
It is in Louisiana.
Is it?
Good
I just
job.
hear swamp and I instantly think of Louisiana.
Julia Brown. Have you ever heard the name?
No.
She was a hoodoo priestess.
Ooh.
I know. She lived in a small town that was surrounded by the Manchac swamp.
Okay.
She was originally from Louisiana. Louisiana.
What was that? Your face was so funny. Your eyes did this thing I've never seen them do before.
Because I was so confused.
I got the shepherd's pie giggles. I think I had too many carbs.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay, no. You gotta stop.
You said Louisiana.
I meant to say New Orleans.
Oh, somehow I thought that's what you said. Like it made sense to me.
You knew I meant New Orleans, but they did not. Okay.
Narlands. Let me get it out real quick. Narlands. Okay.
I recorded this whole laugh session. Okay. She was originally from New Orleans.
Mm.
Yes, she did. She was considered a witch there. She did her hoodoo, voodoo things. But she moved to this small town. She was well known for her charms, curses, and singing songs on her front porch.
Sounds like me. Except not voodoo, but... What the fuck was that?
Julia Brown. Her small town had no doctor or any means of medication at all.
Was she a medicine woman?
She became the town's healer. She did.
I already like her a lot.
She would help the townspeople
with
all of their ailments. She would travel to people's homes. She would help with childbirth, sicknesses,
love that.
Whatever people needed. She would actually give people curses to like help them
the bad stuff.
Exactly, that kind of stuff. the people would always recover very quickly after she helped them. So all the locals knew she was the real deal.
Yeah.
They would go to her every single time. They knew she was very strong and very powerful. And, like, they wouldn't call it magic, but they would, like, call it magic. You know what I mean? Like, it was like one of those, yeah, she's powerful. If you need help, you go to her. We can't tell you what, why, how, when, or where she does it, but she does it. After a while, people started taking her for granted.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're gonna help me. Mm-hmm. You're gonna help me right now when I need you to come help me. And she would still do it, but it became building and building and building.
People always take advantage of stuff.
They literally started demanding her help without even asking. Like, they always assumed she would be there no matter what. She was going to take care of it. If I have a problem, Julia will take care of it. And they actually called her Aunt Julia. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what the locals called her, Aunt Julia. She loved everyone in her town, but she didn't like that they were beginning to treat her this. So she started making predictions. Like, she would sing her predictions as she, like, cleaned her front porch. Yeah. She would, just simple things like, it's going to rain in 3 days, or just simple little predictions that always came true. They always came true. She was hoping to scare them a little bit, I think.
Right.
Like, ooh, she is powerful. Maybe we should be kind, but they weren't. It just got worse. Like, oh my God, they saw she's so good. She's so true. We want the magic. We need the magic to help us. And so they would keep demanding, keep all the things. People began... I literally cannot talk. People became scared of her. They started to get kind of scared. Like, holy shit, she's predicting these things and these things are happening. But they still kept coming and keep asking and everything. On September 28th, 1925, she made her last prediction. Do you want to guess what it was?
That she was going to die.
She began singing a new song while sweeping her porch, walking to the local market, walking to help people. She sang it for 3 days. One day I'm gonna die, and I'm gonna take you all with me. Ooh. She would sing it on repeat for 3 days. Oh. One random day, very shortly after this, she died.
How did she die?
In her house, in her bed. Nobody.
Huh.
There was no, like, couldn't find anything about how she actually died.
Wow.
She died.
She probably made an elixir of some kind, and it's like,
I have no idea. The people of the town knew that all of those other predictions had come true.
Right.
And she'd been singing the song, I'm gonna die and take y'all with me. They were terrified.
Right.
So people from miles and miles and miles around came to her funeral. They flooded the streets of this small town to come to her funeral and show respect to her, hoping that would be enough for the curse to not
to like appease
take them all. They were literally getting ready to place her in the ground, like her coffin in the ground, and a hurricane hit.
Oh, wow.
A huge, massive hurricane ripped through Louisiana. It killed 350 people. Like, not just in the town, in Louisiana.
Wow.
The people who survived the storm thought the curse was still on them, so they made a mass grave and threw all of the bodies from their village, including Julia's body, into the dark waters. They did try to rebuild their small town, but they just couldn't. There wasn't enough people who survived. There wasn't enough materials because Louisiana had to rebuild, I guess, in general. So right now, it's still a town. You can still go there. It's, I'm going to say it wrong, Frenier? Frenier?
Frenier.
That's what I would say, Frenier. Yes. Now it is a tiny... I literally cannot talk tonight. Oh my God. A tiny fishing village with a handful of small houses and one restaurant. Locals say the swamp is now haunted by Julia. They hear her singing her little songs all the time. They can be heard from... The closer you get to the mass grave area, the louder they are.
Wow. That's cool. That's my favorite one.
I knew it would be.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That it?
That's it.
I didn't mean to ask like that.
Are you done? Oh my God, are you?
I don't have any more. I could have kept going. Like, there was so much, but we only have so much time. So yeah.
Okay. If you need to contact us for any reason at all, you can do so at onlyifyoucankeepup@gmail.com.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.